Good morning. How you doing? 6:13 a.m. here in western Iowa on Monday, December 30th. Winter's coming and it's going to be felt over much of the country and in a big way. So we'll get to that here in a second. We'll start with this morning though. It's really warm. Pretty much the entire country above average, especially down there in Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas. A little bit below average when you get to the northwest, but pretty close to average. Otherwise, it's warm. And those temperatures do look warm. We have 40s all the way into Ohio, 30s for Missouri, 40s for Kansas, 40s and 50s for the southeast, but you get 60s down there in Florida. Kind of chilly down there in Phoenix, 47, 42 for Portland, Oregon. Hazards for today, we've got fog on the map from Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, into Texas, up through Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and then here in Iowa, also Missouri, parts of Illinois, Wisconsin, into Minnesota, and parts of the Dakotas. But then we start getting into the winter weather, and there's a little bit of a system moving through South Dakota today with winter weather advisories there. So be advised, there'll be some winter weather. Same for northern Nebraska. Will we see snow here in western Iowa? I think so. Probably under an inch, maybe less than that. All right, for Montana, winter weather advisories, although higher elevations, winter storm warnings. Same for Oregon and Washington. A little bit of fog there in California, some wind issues also for central coast of California. And then we have a big area, red flag warnings from West Texas into eastern New Mexico up through the Oklahoma Panhandle, parts of Kansas into Colorado. So lots of wind here and dry enough for some fire danger issues. All right, where's it gonna precipitate for the next 2 days? Looks like heavy rain or snow there in Connecticut into Rhode Island, parts of Massachusetts. A swath of lighter rain or snow across the Midwest into the parts of the northern plains, and then another system for the Pacific Northwest. Where will it fall as snow? Mountains in the west, then the plains of Montana into South Dakota, also the plains of Wyoming and the mountains of Colorado and Utah and Wyoming, and then lighter amounts as you get into parts of Nebraska here into Iowa, showing generally less than an inch here in Iowa, but you're saying there's a chance. All right, the cold is coming, so I pulled up some numbers for you. This is the GFS model, the latest GFS. This is 6 a.m. on the 9th, 6 a.m. on the 10th, 6 a.m. on the 11th, 6 a.m. on the 12th. Look at the 12th. We have freezing temperatures all the way down to Melbourne, Florida. But wait till you see the European model. So again, here's the 9th in the morning. Temperatures below zero here in the Midwest. And we have widespread teens and 20s all the way down to the southeast. Teens in Tennessee. Then those teens in Oklahoma on the 10th. And very cold in the Midwest. The 11th, that cold air starts to sink further south and move east a little bit. And then the 12th, moderating a little bit here in the Midwest, but still cold upper Midwest and Northeast, and those temperatures below freezing all the way down to near New Orleans. Now, the European is much colder. This is the morning of the 9th, below zero here in Iowa. And then when we get to the 10th, much below zero here in Iowa, below zero into parts of Missouri, into Illinois, Indiana, and also Ohio, with a temperature of 16 in Memphis and 20s for Houston. Then on the 11th, teens in Texas, including Houston, teens getting into Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and 25 there for Panama City, Florida. And then on the 12th, just dramatic. I mean, this is 25 degrees near Lake Okeechobee in Florida, 19 for Panama City. So this would be pretty devastating to the orange crop if this happens. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on it, of course, but winter is coming for at least the eastern half of the United States. And it could be on the dramatic side, and it could come with a lot of snow. These are temperatures our experimental map, slight risk of hazardous temperatures, 5th through the 10th, upper Midwest, northern plains into the Great Lakes, and then also for Florida, the 4th and 5th and 9th and 10th, and your heavy snow potential, slight risk, 20 to 40% from northern Idaho, Montana, all the way to Ohio, Kentucky, and Michigan. And then the 7th through the 10th for West Virginia and the Northeast. Here's today's surface. So we'll go through it step by step here. Here's your high fire danger, eastern New Mexico, West Texas, Oklahoma Panhandle. Your mix of rain and snow in the northern plains into the Midwest. Even some ice possible in South Dakota and a little bit of Minnesota. Some heavy snow possible in southern South Dakota. In the west, it's a lot of snow, heavy snow, parts of Idaho, Wyoming, Montana. Rain or snow further to the west in the northwest. Rain along the coast, of course. And then for tomorrow, rain and snow moves into the Great Lakes, maybe some ice up there in New England, some rain down there in Florida, some lingering snows on the lighter side, Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, Idaho, Oregon, with rain or snow closer to the coast. And then on Wednesday, we see heavier snow. There's going to be some lake effect snow coming off of the eastern Great Lakes, some ice possible in Maine, and another little system for Nebraska, Kansas, Iowa, maybe some additional light snow here, which would be nice. And then for the west, it's rain or snow depending. All right, let's check out the GFS this morning. Some dramatic stuff on here. Here's our rain and snow for South Dakota into Nebraska, moving into western Iowa. We've had some light rain this morning at 32 degrees. Maybe it was snow. It's dark. I couldn't tell, but it didn't stick to anything. So as we go through the morning, rain here in western Iowa, but changing over to snow. Even on the GFS model, the European was colder. The GFS has kind of gotten colder than it's been. So changing to snow by this evening up here in northwestern Iowa, certainly South Dakota and Nebraska seeing some snow. Rain changing to snow in western Iowa, 9 o'clock tonight. Light snow by midnight here, but it's rain towards Des Moines and heavier rain in Illinois. And then it goes away for us, but the cold temperatures remain. And this low is mostly a rainmaker now as it moves into Ohio and through the Great Lakes. Turning to snow, though, on the backside as we get into the evening of the 31st with some snow back here in Indiana, Ohio, and Michigan. And when we get to Happy New Year time, still looking at some rain, but moving out of New York City now. So before we were showing heavy showers for the ball drop for New York, now that we're getting closer, looks like the rain may clear before midnight, but still coming down pretty good here in parts of the Northeast. Some rain or snow behind, and another rain or snow event for the Pacific Northwest. As we get into New Year's Day, you see some snow picking up in the eastern Great Lakes. So this low causing a lot of winds here to blow across the lakes. So we have lake enhanced and lake effect snow, and then some light snow out here in the west. And that moves into, here's our little disturbance on the 2nd. So this is 6 a.m. Thursday, January 2nd, snow in western Iowa and parts of eastern Nebraska. It doesn't last long, but could be a burst of an inch or two, certainly. And then, it's starting to get cold. So you look at the 540 line, again, that's usually our demarcation between rain and snow, and it's getting all the way down into the Carolinas. Another storm for the Pacific Northwest as we're midnight now on Thursday. As we head into Friday, some light snow West Virginia, rain or snow in the Pacific Northwest. And as we get further into Friday, you see that cold air is getting pretty far south from the northern plains all the way into the eastern, the mid-Atlantic. So, but kind of quiet, lake effect snow though. And then the west is rain or snow as we get into the 4th now. This is the morning of the 4th. And pretty good system here, getting its act together for Montana into Wyoming, Idaho, even parts of Utah and Colorado. We're starting to see snow bust out here Saturday night into Nebraska and South Dakota, and that moves in to western Iowa at midnight Saturday night into Sunday morning, just in time for church. So it's a good thing I got that new cross track because I may need it. 'Cause I go into church early to help set up and that sort of stuff. So anyway, snowing looks like Sunday morning in western Iowa, eastern Nebraska, up into South Dakota, and back into Wyoming. And as that system continues, heavy snow picking up here in Iowa and also South Dakota. And as we go, we see some ice down here in Missouri. Heavy snow for Iowa, lighter snow further to the north in Minnesota and the Dakotas. Heavy snow Sunday. This is noon. The entire state of Iowa seeing heavy snow. It's more of a mix when you get down into Missouri, but Illinois is starting to get in on some of that snow. Rain down in Arkansas. That system continues to move eastward slowly, still snowing in Iowa, even as we get into Sunday night. And finally, at midnight, starts to clear here in western Iowa, and that snow spreads into the Great Lakes with some ice here in parts of Ohio and West Virginia, thunderstorms through Tennessee, Mississippi, and Kentucky. Now, behind this system, that cold air is spilling south. So as we get to the 6th, Monday morning, that cold air getting into Texas, Oklahoma, a little bit of light snow. Meanwhile, the snow up here in the northeast, along that front, some showers and thunderstorms for the southeast, some pretty heavy showers and storms along that front, and some snow there in eastern Tennessee, moving up into West Virginia. Light snow in Kansas, Oklahoma. This is Wednesday the 8th. Well, this is Wednesday the 8th. Cold air getting very far south now. And so the eastern half of the country is starting to feel it. Lake effect snows off the Great Lakes. Snowing in Memphis on the 8th in the morning. And parts of Arkansas moving across Tennessee and Kentucky into West Virginia. Light snow. Another surge of cold air here, and you can see the winds picking up out of the north. So very cold, light snow, Missouri and Illinois. As we get into the 9th, this is the morning of the 9th, snow all the way down into Mississippi, Arkansas, across Memphis into Kentucky. Very cold air all the way through most of Texas now. And we showed you those temperatures, quite dramatic. And this looks like could be a southern snowstorm. As we get into this is Thursday night at midnight, snow all the way down to the Gulf Coast in Alabama, moving into Georgia. On the morning of Friday the 10th, snow, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, up into the Midwest, and very cold air. I mean, snow in the Gulf of Mexico. Again, if this all comes true, but it's starting to look more likely. Very heavy rain, snow, wind along the East Coast as we get into Friday the 10th, and snowing in the Carolinas and the Virginias, and in very heavy snow for Pennsylvania along the coast. New Jersey, lots of wind. Could be a nor'easter, depending on where the slow goes, a little further out. We get more snow on the coast, a little further inland. We get rain on the coast. You get the idea. And the 540 line is all the way through central Florida. So, will this all come to fruition? It certainly is looking likely that we're going to have some very cold air, that we're going to have some winter weather, perhaps even in the south, and that winter is coming for sure. How it will play out exactly remains to be seen, but you can see as we went through the entire run, it could get pretty dramatic even for the south. But the cold air, oh my goodness, banked up against the Rockies all the way through Texas into the east by the 15th even. So here in western Iowa, we're going to be below freezing starting tonight when we switch over to snow, and we're not going to get above freezing at least through the 15th. So, pretty fun stuff. All right, 8 to 14 day temperatures reflecting that. Cold east, a little warm west. We'll see. And precipitation-wise, best chance of above average through the northern plains, central plains, northern and central Rockies, also down in the southeast. So winter on its way, and we'll keep you posted as we go. Could be kind of dramatic at times, and certainly a southern snowstorm is something that the kids look forward to and, of all ages, and others do not. So we'll let you know as we go. Thanks for tuning in, the Weather Mike. Appreciate it.